recorded and it will be available. Let me introduce the speaker today. Ravi Annaswamy, an alumni of ACCET Karaikudi. He is in Electronics and Communication Engineering, class of 1988. And he did his master's in IIT Madras in Digital Signal Processing and Neural Networks. He's a seasoned software architect and distinguished engineer with over 3 decades of experience in large-scale systems design and delivery across the aeronautics, controls, and banking domains. His expertise spans software development, systems engineering, architecture, statistical modeling, machine learning, and artificial intelligence. Ravi has held key roles at organizations including Honeywell India, KeyBank, Trilogy. At KeyBank, Ravi and myself work together. And at PNC, currently he is working at PNC Financial Services, where he is recognized for his leadership in team building, mentoring, and translating complex technical concepts into clear guidance for senior management and business teams. Notably, Ravi worked on convolution neural network (CNNs) for object recognition under extreme noise and distortion at IIT Madras back in 1992, long before neural networks became mainstream. So, with the resurgence of AI since 2012, he has dedicated the past decade to tracking the modern advances in AI and teaching them from first principles to individuals and small teams. So beyond technology, Ravi is also a music composer. His YouTube channel at Ravi Chandran Creative has gained 140,000 subscribers in just 8 months, combining compelling music and visual enabled by the creative use of AI to explore human emotions. He also available for individual mentoring, consulting, and strategic guidance. So without further ado, I will transition over to Ravi Annaswamy. Take it over, Ravi.
Thank you very much, Ravi. Thanks for the kind words. And I'm really very, very pleased to be in front of all of you. Very nice to see interest and also the opportunity for me to talk. There's so much material available on the internet about AI, and it's a very evolving field. But the fact that you invited me to give my perspective honors me. I'll try to do justice. I will, and I respect Ravi as a great leader. And thank you, Ravi, for remembering to bring me in. So with that, I'll just jump onto the topic. This is one of two sessions at least. There may be even more about because we want to go in depth. Today's session, I'll provide an introduction to artificial intelligence, a conceptual introduction up to the impact. Main point here is it is a so what do you learn? Like, do you want to learn what is the latest, greatest tools like ChatGPT or Gemini, or what is that? What is this? What is MCP? What are advanced? Or do you want to learn the first principles from which these things operate? Always, if you learn the first principles, it is much easier to grasp any new tool coming in to establish its limits and possibilities very quickly. So it is just like learning the three Newton's laws. You can analyze very, very complex situations from first principles much more better than looking for formulae. So today's session, I want to start with first principles. And the first principles, so basically we will have a 45-minute journey through the fundamentals, which is first principles of AI, applications that have been suddenly successful. What are the implications to society? And in the next session, we will go into in-depth of all of these again in revision, right? So let's start off. First question, as I said, 15 minutes conceptual understanding, about 15 to 20 minutes practical applications and the history. We'll be surprised how early it started. We all think suddenly it became popular, but it is actually much older than even computing. And then what is the impact for work and society? Please make a note of the key concepts that you are hearing. I'll try to give the keywords because those keywords, if we really understand them very well, everything else can be easily understood. And also note down your questions. You can jot them in the Zoom chat or during the question session, you can ask them. And even after the session, you can send because we are going to have a second session too. So please make sure to take some notes, take some questions, because it's a great opportunity to learn. First, let us go with what it really means. what do we mean by intelligence? So we all have to have a very clear concept of what intelligence is. Before we talk about what is artificial intelligence, we need to know what do we mean by intelligence. I'll break for a moment. If it's okay, Ravi, can one of you share your definition of intelligence, just to just get it going? One or two of you, maybe.
Sure. I think anybody can unmute yourself and you can express your opinion on the intelligence, how you think. My point of view, the intelligence is something you experience something, you learn something, and you practice, or maybe from the teachings from the others or observations. It's a combination of things. It's not just one dimension.
Mhm.
Everybody has a different intelligent power.
Mhm. So you have described how intelligence is gained, but how, yes, and the two important points is learning from experience, learning from the intelligence of others, trying to practice and setting it true. These are very three key aspects. But if you want to define it as a capability, what is that? If somebody has gained this through some means, but what is the capability called intelligence? Is it the ability to learn? Is it the ability to do what?
Application of one's consciousness,
Mhm.
realize some meaningful uh, effect, artifact or effect or meaningful
Okay.
application of one's own consciousness that God has given to one person.
Very good, very good. This is a very good definition. I'll ask one more person. I will not have too many questions, but this is a very critical question. That's why I want everyone to think about it. Then, when I share, you will know whether I'm coming close to your definition or is it different, right? Maybe one more person. And I like
So,
your. Mhm,
Raj here.
mhm,
So, understand the context,
mhm,
use the information what you learned,
mhm.
and provide a resolution or do an action.
Very nice, very nice. I think these two definitions are really, really very critical. First one, so I'll start with the second one. I don't know the names of who said that, but the second one is that understand a context. There is a context, there is a goal to be pursued, either a problem to be solved or something to be gained, either remove an obstacle or reach something likelihood, like right. So that is the context and the goal. Collect information that is relevant to that, sequence it in such a way that you get to the solution or a resolution, right? This ability to synthesize information in context quickly to come up with a solution is intelligence. Okay. And then the other was very good before God given consciousness. I want to call it as attention, being able to attend correctly to what is needed in order to get to a solution. That spanning of attention or focusing of attention on what is very relevant is the key of intelligence. Okay, thank you so much, that was very nice. So I would put it in a little bit more mechanical sense. You test, these are what you mentioned was how do you do, what do you do, but has a person correctly responded in various situations, related situations? That means they are intelligent. For example, the intelligence is multifaceted. As Ravi told, it could be like chess playing is a chess intelligence, right? Somebody who's extremely good at chess playing may not be as good in driving a car, right? So it is actually a set of chessboard situations, knowing exactly what moves will give them the advantage, able to respond correctly or take the correct action in various situations is intelligence. So this is my definition, or the industry definition that is narrowly limiting. And in order to do that, you are in a context, you have to remember what the goal is, you have to recognize patterns, you have to make decisions on which patterns are implicating what, you have to come up with solution, and you also have to learn from this experience so that next time your search will be much smaller and focused. So intelligence, in my opinion, is knowing or figuring out what action is correct in appropriate situation to meet a goal, right? And that is kind of what I will summarize. I hope you all agree. Now the question is, how do humans gain intelligence? And as Ravi said, we learn some particular ways of doing from others, education and instructions, parents, teachers, peers, friends, and anybody, general community, YouTube people, or people from Instagram showing things on how to do. And we learn procedures and rules and facts and whatever. We imitate entire behavior sequences, how to learn how to play tennis, right? So we may get some instruction, we may imitate other persons playing by looking at them, then the most of the learning actually comes from learning from experience. So this is what Ravi distinguished, but we learn from others, we learn programs from others, means sequence of doing things. So you can think of the solution is always a sequence of doing a thing, and the program is something that puts together the sequence, right, of a particular solution. For example, in a chessboard, what move to make next means what should I worry about? Which of my pieces are in threat? Which of my pieces can threaten the other? Which, if I don't move this, in the next move, what can he do or she do to make a big trouble for me? How do I minimize risk? And after doing that, how do I maximize my advantage? So in that sequence is very important, because if you go for advantage, you might forget what is risk. So balancing that, and not just one step, you have to think 4 or 5 steps ahead. That is where the program sequence comes. So you evaluate situation by situation, but you chain together a path. That is definition of intelligence, right? And so you have program from others. You also learn from experience by trying certain things, like tennis, you try this, try that, and whatever. Pattern recognition, oh, the ball comes from this direction, it's much more easier for me to flip it this way than that way, right? Adapting to the feedback, what happens, you figure out and say, ha, that was not a good one, right? A lot of this may not even come to our awareness, and sorry, our conscious verbal awareness, but it is in the God-given consciousness. We are aware of it, we tune ourselves to it. So humans learn through others programs and from direct experience. How about how do machine gains intelligence? Same way. Machines until about 2010, the focus was, or until about 1990, is programmed intelligence. So let me ask you this question. Will you call a normal software as intelligence? Will you call it as artificial intelligence? Anyone? A normal program, should you call it as intelligence? Should you call it as programmed intelligence? Should you call it as artificial intelligence?
It's programmed intelligence.
Okay. Yes. And it is, in a sense, it is actually artificial intelligence, which means it's not occurring naturally in the human form. But in some sense, originally, when Alan Turing composed computing, he actually invented artificial intelligence before he invented normal computing. For him, normal computing was one way of implementing artificial intelligence. But it became so popular that we said, we are just programming the whole thing end to end. So that it cannot be called as self-learned intelligence. So the distinction I'm making here is programmed intelligence versus learned intelligence. Until about the 2010, most of our software was explicit rules and logic from humans put into decision trees. If this happens, do this and keep doing this. So for loops, if then statements, those are the only two components. If then statements, for loops. These are the only two things. For means while, all the things. These are the only two structures needed for implementing any algorithm. But the key here is human designed algorithm. The human says what to compute, how to decide based on that, how to parse the input, and based on that, how to do next action. If things change, which path to take. So you can think of every program as a decision tree, a human designed step-by-step process from inputs to output. Human designed algorithm that takes from, an algorithm is nothing but a sequence of steps that is guaranteed to take you from one input to one output required using various paths as needed, right? That's a program. Now, when it came to machine learning from 1990s, people started saying, hey, can we learn the program? So I want you to think about artificial intelligence and machine learning as self-programming machines. The moment you understand it that way, you can see the power of that. Artificial intelligence means today self-programming machines which learn given a data, with given input and output pair, they figure out what program would translate from input to output. This is marvelous, right? So in other words, in the old style, you give the program, then you give the input, you get the output. In machine learning, you give input and output, lots of them, and ask the system to come up with a program that satisfies all of them. If you grasp this point, machine learning is the ability to estimate programs or learn programs from input output training data. If you grasp that point, in what pattern, what action should be taken, what pattern, what action should be taken. It tries this, tries that. Oh, that's not working. Error correction, feedback loop. Then the program gets slowly improved little by little by little. I'll stop here for a minute. Does this make a good distinction? Is it a new idea to any one of you? Or it's an old idea, you want to add to it?
No, it's kind of like, if you look at a scale, we write in told program, like we'll assume, like we think what are all the possible situations, we take care of each situation and say finally else.
Mm-hmm.
Throw a message box. That's all, because you don't know beyond that.
Yes.
But in this current context, what you're saying is we throw so many situations to it, let it digest, and let it figure out the appropriate logic to do here.
Yes. Yes. So you can see the immediate, very well said. Situations, actions. If you think about that, you have understood the previous definition of intelligence. What action is appropriate in what situation? It could be a chessboard situation. It could be a driving car situation. It could be a human decision situation. Situation, what is the correct action? Situation, what is the correct action? Now, as long as the system has a chain of reasoning from a situation to an action choice, it will try that action. It needs a way to figure out if the action did not work, which of the reasonings were bad. So that is the entire mechanism of machine learning. And we are going to see it in a very simple example in Excel next. Basically, given a situation, you come up with some nonsense idea and come up with an action. If the action did not work, you change your nonsense, making it a little bit more sensible. You keep doing it with so many situations slowly. Suddenly, one day you will find that all situations are correctly answered. This is the power of modern machine learning. If you grasp this point, the first point we said was intelligence is the ability to take correct action in various situations. Programs are expert driven if then rules and decision trees and loops given to make sure that the responsibilities are with the human. Machine learning is you start with a random program and keep improving it by a vast amount of data until if it meets all the data situations, then it has to be a good program only. You cannot fool it. So there are ways to do that. That is what people perfected after the 1990s. And then neural networks came, which could do this in very, very soft vector space, very powerfully fast using mathematical algorithms. So machine learning in discrete world became neural networks continuous world. That is why suddenly speech recognition, audio, music, I'll show you some demos today. You'll be stunned if you have not seen what is capable by neural networks. So neural networks are capable of learning continuous space transformations that can later be corrected to discrete decisions later. Whereas in our own programs are all discrete decisions. That is why nobody can write a program for speech recognition correctly. Nobody can write a program for music synthesis. Nobody can write a program for language translation. But things can be learned by neural networks very powerfully. I want to give you one very quick thing. I took this is a chat GPT. Are you guys able to see my chat GPT screen?
Yes.
So I took a Telugu article. This was probably a few months ago. I do not know how to read Telugu. Okay. So I took this Telugu article, asked ChatGPT, split it into sentences. Please print this text sentence by sentence, each sentence contributing 4 lines. Telugu line, transliterated Telugu line, translation to Tamil, and its transliteration. The reason I did that was I wanted to know what is similar between Telugu and Tamil. So here, the first sentence, I'm going to read the Telugu. I'm not a Telugu guy, but I'm reading the translated. Sakshi, Hyderabad. గచ్చిబౌలి హెచ్సియు వ్యవహారములో సుప్రీంకోర్టు ఆదేశాలు ప్రజా ప్రజాస్వామ్యాన్ని ఆ, కాపాడని కామెంట్స్ చేశారు బీఆర్ఎస్ వర్కింగ్ ప్రెసిడెంట్ కేటీఆర్. இட் டிரான்ஸ்லேட்ஸ் இட் பியூட்டிஃபுல்லி. கச்சிபௌலி விவகாரத்தில் உச்சநீதிமன்ற ஆணைகள் ஜனநாயகத்தை காத்ததென பிஆர்எஸ் வேலைநிறை தலைவர் கேடிஆர் கூறினார். And it also gives me this. Why I am doing that is I want to see which of these forms are close, right? So you can see the power of this. So if I actually want to really translate a sentence, a particular thing, so you can see the format too. If you have not used ChatGPT using this kind of formatting, you'll be surprised that wow, this can do this, right? So even there are many kids in Telugu kids in US who do not know, may not have had the opportunity to learn the script, but by using this transliterated script, they can come back to the language, right? Likewise, if people want to learn, the Tamil guy want to learn Telugu, they don't really need to first learn the script. That's an older style of teaching, which is good teaching. But how many people are bottlenecked by not being able to read the script, but you can publish entire things and people can go now why I did that was I had the intuition that even though many people say that, oh, Sanskrit is the kind of the base language for all the Indian languages. No, there are Dravidian languages that have got a lot of similarities, and the roots, the best key is the verbs. For example, it says here that chai, right? Say, chai, they are same. Undu, erpadu, come. All the verb forms are common between the Dravidian languages. The adverb forms like kuda, ipudu, ipodu, determiners, ide, they are not Sanskrit or North Indian. The reason I'm not trying to give it a division, I'm just saying properly that languages are not like always from one stock. They are correspondences with Dravidian language as well as, and they have roots coming from different directions into UGs. And in order to do that analysis, I took some text and I tried to do that. You can see the power of this. If you ask a researcher in linguistics to prepare this table, so then I said, can you please make it verbs that are adverbs that are similar, ventane, udane, right? Kuda, matrame. Pronouns, other words. So you can see the power of this. I can put like a whole, today I can put like a whole book of Telugu, get this kind of analysis and learn a lot more from it than a PhD student might be able to learn in 6 months of time, right? So this is the power of first demo I wanted to show. But it cannot be programmed by humans, but neural networks can learn from vast amounts of data. Any quick questions on this one?
No questions. Amazing. It's really good to know. So this is the
Yeah.
ChatGPT 5.0. Okay.
Yeah, this was done in ChatGPT 4 itself. This was done in ChatGPT 4.
Oh, okay.
But 5 is better than this actually. Yeah. So yes. So but coming back to what we were discussing, we said that I'm going to take a quick thing. Intelligence is the ability to find what action is correct in a situation. We learn through programming by others and through experience, and how machines also do the same. And now, to get you a feeling for this, I've given this example. If you want a conversion between centigrade to Fahrenheit, in a normal programming situation, what will you do? You will ask somebody, oh, what is the formula? So they will have to know the formula. They will search the internet. They'll ask somebody. Does anyone here know the formula for centigrade to Fahrenheit conversion?
You're really
Multiply by 9 by 5.
9 by 5.
Yeah. Multiply by 9 by 5, add 30.
F equal 9C by 9C, F by 9C plus 32.
No, actually, I'm talking on mute. F minus 32 by 180 is equal to C by 100.
Yes.
That's all.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. But if you want to exactly. That's exact. Good memory.
Yeah.
But if you want to convert from centigrade to Fahrenheit, you multiply by 9 by 5, add
That's
30.
correct.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Right? Now,
Yeah, no.
what if you don't know the formula? Because formula means programming. Somebody has to figure out the analytical formula, then program it. That is the human programming. Can you take this data, figure out that 9 by 5 and 32? That is
Right.
machine learning. That's all machine learning. How will you do that? Any ideas? Any ideas?
Meaning,
How can a machine?
So,
Yeah.
so if I
Pattern
say
finding.
centigrade, it's 0 degrees, Fahrenheit 32 degrees. Give me the what's the formula?
Finding the relationship and patterns between.
Yeah, but how do you really get, for example, if it is 0, this
Some
is the clue. This is the clue. If it is 0, then the output is 32, means there is a shift of 32
yeah,
because no
yeah.
input at all,
Right.
right? Then you subtract
Formula.
the
F of x is equal to y, something like that.
yeah,
Some
but if you subtract, I'm just trying to get it into a common sense formula, right? So subtract the 32 from 212, you will get 180, right? So that means you first multiply by 1.8, which is 9 by 5, and you basically add 32, right? You can reason out
Yes.
like this also, but machine can do even better. I just see that 100 becomes 200. I'm seeing rough idea, maybe multiply the 100 by 2, add 12 to it. But if I do that, for the first case, 2 times 0 plus 12 will give me 12. So there is an error of minus 20. In other words, using hypothetical model. So this is actually called a feature model. It means some coefficients that are basically going to give you some kind of a prediction. You start with random coefficients and you predict that coefficient is going to give you 12. I am falling short by 20. Here I am accuracy is good. But here minus 40, somebody tells you that minus 40 degrees centigrade is same as minus 40 degree Fahrenheit. You apply that, you are getting 68. Now, how do you adjust it? This is where modern machine learning cracked something very simply. What they figured out was you figure out error in each case, you create the absolute error, do an average of it, then start taking this number slowly in order to minimize the error. Let us say I go from 2 to 12. Instead of 12, I make it into 13. Error is coming down. 14, error is coming down. I can keep doing it, right? Now, if I reduce it by 1.9, error is dramatically also yeah, will come down. So now, uh, so if you keep increasing now, this is the method called gradient descent. So what it does is basically, if from here, if I shift it this, error increases. So I do not shift it, right? If I go to 1.9, error again, error seems to come down. So I might do it, but soon you will notice as you keep going up and down that only the setting of 1.8 and 32, all the error becomes 0. This method is called gradient descent. In other words, you create a model of the data by minimizing the error of your predictions. So the keywords here is training data set, learn from training data set, learn a program from, here we are learning a formula only, not a full program, but learn a formula from the training data set by formulating a prediction and changing the prediction rule in such a way that error is minimized. This method is called gradient descent. And this is the only method that is used in various forms to do all the miraculous things that we are seeing today. Okay. So I wanted to introduce you that it's not magic. It is essentially data set modeling using error reduction. Now, I'll quickly go on to a third option. You can apply it to a larger one. Somebody tells you, hey, I want to predict somebody, I want you to stop somebody on the street, ask him 5 questions or 4 questions, and you should be able to predict their salary. What will those questions be? Anyone? Anyone?
I think you
Anybody?
already listed out their educational level,
Yes. Yeah.
years.
So you ask them what, yes, what industry you are working, which city cost of living, how many years your experience is, what is your education level. Now, if you ask those 4 questions, you can make an intelligent guess either by keeping a whole data set of, you can collect 1,000 people's survey questions, that data set becomes a model purely because you can find whoever is nearest in that, you can read out the salary. So the first case of modeling is called as nearest neighbor modeling, right? All machine learning is a way of nearest neighbor. But then you can reduce the quantities in such a way that you can find numerical approximation saying, oh, the minimum salary is 20,000. Let us remove that. Now, with every year's education level, remember, this is nothing but a linear equation. Just like we have 9 by 5 times CE plus 32, here we are having 500 times, 5,000 times education plus 500 times years, 2,000 years cost of living, 10,000 times industry type, and add 20,000 to it is a good prediction. Once you figure out this coefficient, that is called modeling. So in other words, this is how taking a data set, you come up with a model that minimizes prediction error. Okay. So if later we can go over this, how to do it in a very automatic way. You don't really, it means like, how do you come up with such numbers, right? But you can do it in a prediction game format, or you can do it with pure mathematics without even having to touch anything. Just set up the data set, it figures out, right? This is a linear regression. I've put it in this way, but this is how the machine learns from experience, rules and programs. Okay. Let me move on now. I gave you a glimpse of that. You might have known this already. How does ChatGPT learn to chat from here? So let us take a simple exercise. I went to Hyderabad to attend my best friend's. What word would you fill in? Comes to your mind.
Best friend's wedding, maybe?
Yeah. What makes you?
Marriage.
Yeah. What makes you come up with wedding or marriage?
It's mostly when people travel for like they won't travel like just for a birthday or something. Usually like a big occasion,
Very
right?
good.
So
Very good. Very good. Very good. So my best friends next means immediately it is some big event in their life. But at the same time, I'm traveling to Hyderabad means I'm not in that city, right? Which means I'm doing a long traveling. See, you can see that as each word arrives, in the combination of the words, you are setting up some expectation, then you are searching through possibilities. So you are, when I asked you what else can come, wedding, marriage, birthday, and you eliminated birthday. So this is exactly what ChatGPT is doing, is that this method is actually called as masked prediction. You mask one of the words and try to find a word, what all words are possible. Initially, it will give totally random words. It will say, I went to Hyderabad to attend my best friends. It may say something like London, but then it is told that that word never has happened after best friends. So then it will say, okay, what all words happen after friends? Wedding, wife, family, career, whatever. But then it will try to say, I went to attend means event. It slowly starts gathering. So ChatGPT, entire ChatGPT, first level of language modeling, it's called language model. Just like you have salary modeling, you are doing language modeling by predicting the word. Okay, let us take one more example. If I change it to this sentence, I and my wife traveled to Chicago from Vijayawada to see my newborn, what would you say?
niece or somebody, some close relation.
Or yeah, my newborn means you can say my newborn grandson. You can say granddaughter,
Yeah.
niece, nephew, whatever, right? So now if you see here, what makes you come up with that? Because what what in this line even tells you that it is a relative. Newborn means it has to be a child, but child is too specific. You can't say to you see my newborn child. No, not my child, right? then
Yeah.
then you figure out that this combination has so much information content. Every word turns on some switches and they are all aggregated together. This is what neural network is. Every word turns on switches in your mind, and then this, when times to predict, you are actually just like you're saying number of years of experience, industry, salary, like that, it turns on flags. What they figured out was how to turn each word into a set of switches, and how to automatically figure out without human coding, it automatically figure out this model, right? So this is the heart of how ChatGPT works. Then there are three layers. The first layer of ChatGPT is pure language modeling, but it cannot talk to you. For example, if you ask a question is, when was Mahatma Gandhi born? The raw GPT will not answer 1869. It will say, instead it will start saying something like, when was Abraham Lincoln born? When was Barack Obama become the president. Like that, it will keep on some sentences. It doesn't know that it has to answer that question. So the very first question is language modeling. Next question is tuning it in order to make it useful for humans. That is called reinforcement learning with human feedback, doing useful work. That is the second stage of ChatGPT training. Third training is reasoning. This was only invented last year. Reasoning means instead of telling what comes to your mind, it actually says, yeah, if I say this, does it work out to be right? Let me verify it. So that is called as reinforcement learning with verifiable feedback. And it figures it out. That's called reasoning chain. So instead of just immediately giving off whatever comes to mind, it writes it down. It means what? It's just a chain of thought, right? There's no human being there. It is just a chain of thought. It walks through the chain and sees that if I say this, does it correlate to the other things and so on, right? So that is the mechanism. So I will quickly go through a few more
Ravi,
slides. Yeah, yeah,
quick
yeah,
time check. There are 20 more minutes left for
yeah.
the duration.
Yes, yes. We can cover some of that in the next session also. But the three zones we said was programming. Humans capture the expertise. In classical AI, we search through the possibilities like chess playing machines. In modern AI, knowledge as well as the representations are learned directly from the data without any humans trying to code anything. This is what I want you to fully understand. There are four methods. We will go this in much detail later. I showed you already this Fahrenheit and salary prediction models. Um, I will quickly touch upon the big breakthroughs that happened. You also know it, but I want to touch upon it. 1997, Deep Blue defeated Kasparov, but this was not modern AI. It was the traditional AI of searching through humans. In other words, people told how to analyze a chessboard programmed into the machine. Only the path of searching was done by the thing. So the simulated intelligence was searching for a solution, not learning the chess game, right? But in 2000s, already lot of AI started using for Google Maps, finding routes, airline optimizing flight path. These are optimization algorithms that are also kind of giving intelligent behavior, but then what they are optimizing, what information, the representation, the optimization algorithm itself was designed by human beings, right? This is what I want to show. In 2010 is when neural networks started coming in. Speech recognition was the big breakthrough. 2012, AlexNet was the vision breakthrough. In fact, I did my master's in speech and vision laboratory under Professor Eginarena in IIT Madras. And we used to talk about neural networks will one day break through these, right? But it took so much time, so much data, so much compute in order to get that. But then 2015, Google machine translation became extremely accurate. We will go in the next session on little bit detail into how the model really works. And you won't believe, to learn two languages, to Tamil to Telugu translation, Telugu to English translation, the line of code required is only 500 lines of code. The rest is just data. Okay. Um, then GPT is the chat GPT of prediction, next word prediction. They simplified even machine translation model to GPT, and chat GPT became so powerful because they gave an interface where people could chat to it. So the language model was very intelligent, but they invented the reinforcement learning on how to make it meaningful. The answer was meaningful to what you are asking for. And they break through that. And then reasoning engines emerged in 2024. In 2025, today, there are autonomous coding agents. And the major players are OpenAI, Anthropic, Google, Meta, XAI, Chinese people are playing. All of these are, you guys know all of these, but you should know all of these models. These are all very, very close now. GPT-5, Claude, Gemini, 2.5 Pro. These three are, and Grok 4 are very, very close to each other in capacity. Llama is not yet. And then the Chinese are not that good. They are kind of little bit step back, but they are very efficient, right? Now, I want to show you just very quickly two or three chats because you saw the power of this Telugu thing. I want to show you that I created a YouTube scene finder application in about 1 hour by asking ChatGPT. This was last year, right? So, for example, if I am seeing a movie, I want to know where a particular scene occurs. I can quickly browse through. This loads the YouTube onto my homepage, my own browser, and I can click on this and I can probably switch 5 seconds and see whether I'm able to see the scene. I can even type the scene notes here and save the scene data and load it up again. You see the power of this. This UI itself was, I asked for it, but then the design of the UI, the backend, how to call it and everything was done by ChatGPT. So you can build application. In fact, I can host this application. A lot of people will be interested in using it, right? So you can play this video here at this one, right? Things like that. So that's one demo I wanted to show you the power. I have interest in astrology and I have a Vedic astrology app. I put it in Tamil. I mean, I also have it in other languages, but I have not posted it because there are a lot of commercial players. I don't want to take their money. This is free application. I put it on GitHub where I had the backend planet calculations for a long time. I've been researching it for 10 years, 12 years, but the user interface itself was created in about 3-4 hours using ChatGPT. So you can put in a mobile also it works very well. You can pick any year, you can quickly pick any month or whatever and day, and you can have a set of cities. I have a couple of a small set of cities. I've given it to some Tamil students of astrology. So it immediately says you can browse through. So you can see the fluency and clarity of this. And all these features were built just by asking without coding, myself coding. Only the backend planet calculations, I had it in my place, but the front end coding was entirely done by it. Then last one I wanted to show you is I built a YouTube channel because I'm a music composer of I interest in music. This are you guys see? Are you able to hear? It does it take off the music? I do not know. Does the
No, it's
music?
working. It's working.
So you can see here. This is my latest video. This video.
We lost the audio.
Now these videos were all AI generated. Can you believe that? So these were generated by prompting Google VO3 because in this case the baby has to say coo coo coo, and I asked for it and I was shocked to see that it understood and generated the video. So you can see that this is about a lullaby sung for a baby by the father, and you can listen to it. Okay, so and it's just amazing. The lyrics were written by one of my friends, but the videos were completely generated. The music also was generated by I sang the tune, I sang it my voice, but then the AI basically polishes it. Okay, so I wanted to showcase the power of this. I'll stop here. Yeah, we'll go to the question answer session.
I think, Ravi, if you have something else to cover, that's fine, unless someone has the questions at this time.
I
Yeah.
have I have implications. If you want, I'll take 2 minutes and then we'll get to the questions. Yeah. We will take more of this next time also. The
Yeah.
implications are the opportunities. AI is going to be an extremely powerful assistant. Personal productivity in writing and editing, note taking, summarizing. If you see here in YouTube, whenever you play a new video, today they are actually giving you the ability to ask questions about the video at the bottom. It is all served by note taking from the UI, right? So this is going to be extremely powerful. Whatever we want to write, emails or letters or posts or whatever, if we have the clear idea, the key point is cannot go and give a topic and say, give me an article for that. I dictate my entire articles to it. And then I say, do not change the content, just format it very well and give it back to me. This presentation that you are seeing itself was created last night after I put all the content and asked Claude to really come up with this styling. I was stunned by how it came up with the thing. Then I said add images, add charts and whatever, and it did that. So that is the power, personal productivity. You are going to get an assistant like nothing like before. You can do whatever you want to do. Professionally, coding has been completely changed. Design, creativity, image creation, video creation, you saw that, right? All that is completely changed. Data analytics, you can do. I already gave you these demos. Risks and challenges. The biggest risks are 4 or 5 risks. Deep fakes. it's going to become so much of a trouble, but people will learn how to know what is, and but the trust will be eroded. When whatever you see, you will start. Over reliance of intelligence without you thinking about something is bad. IP concerns. People can steal other people's work and immediately translate it and hide the fact that they have stole from others. Very easily, it is doable. Malicious use, scams and cybercrime. Oh my God, it can just blow up. Finally, nature of work is going to completely change. In other words, people have been paid money for writing well, writing emails, connecting with people and everything, create drawing pictures, taking videos. All of this, if the machine is going to do, where is the need for such so many people? That is brings us to the expertise has to change from how to do things we were paid for knowing how to do, like coding or video creation or writing. But what to build, what to do for helping others, we need to shift our attention to that. That is where the AI cannot judge that well and interact with people. So you will be paid for your ability to interact with people, knowing their feelings, knowing their needs, and correctly solving them. AI masters the execution part, we have to focus on the vision. AI has mastered the technical skills, we have to be the creative problem solving people. AI can follow procedures much, much better than what you can do, but we have to define what procedure to follow and what are the objectives to be gained in that procedure. And individual tasks AI can do extremely well, but the entire systems thinking. So in a few years, human jobs will shift towards this from here. This is a very important slide. We can discuss more. And very important that governments have to regulate everything. The rules use has to be responsible. The wealth distributed has to become equally distributed to everyone. The AI itself should be accessible to everybody, not just a few people. And then the next generation should understand this very well, how to use it, right? And so this is kind of the last thing is like, how to use AI. I'll stop here. Yes, please. Any questions?
Yeah, I have some questions actually. Currently, I'm exploring on different things related to AI and just made a little supporting my son who has made a little channel actually.
Mhm.
So he's using the basic tools like he's generating images and then making them into songs for kids content.
Mhm.
Can you just give me your number or something so that I can just or email so that I can get guidance and what are the other tools I can tell him actually. That's what I'm looking for to encourage him at this instance because he's just joined college.
Sure, sure. Ravi.annaswamy@gmail is my email. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. One second, I'm just making a note.
Okay. Any other?
RABL.Annaswamy. Okay.
Anyone else? Yeah. Good luck to your son. Yeah. Anyone?
Yeah.
I have a general question. I think the answer could be debatable.
Mhm.
So the good and bad of AI, right? Uh,
Mhm.
in one way, if you look at it, it could make people dumb, right? Like, I mean, like,
Mhm.
think of it like, like I said, it's debatable. It's just
Mhm.
I'm just throwing out for debate, but um, we used to remember, like you said earlier, does anybody know Celsius to Fahrenheit or Fahrenheit to Celsius?
Mhm.
So when we were in school,
Mhm.
everybody used to answer,
Yes. Yes.
but nowadays kids don't cannot answer just like how we did when we were kids, right?
Yeah.
um, isn't it gonna make
So,
um,
but do you think that that particular example is it critical for somebody to know the conversion factor?
yeah, I think it relates to again memorizing skill, remembering things. if you
Mhm.
if you let everything machine does.
No, 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 no. My question here is that fact that we will be forced to think critically, we should be forced to remember things anyway. But the point here is that it is just like saying people before the advent of typewriter, people used to write very beautifully in the hand and send emails and letters, right? Moment the typewriters came and the emails came, people don't write by hand, so that art is gone, right? Likewise, already so many things. Likewise, walking for long distances we used to do, but then when cars came and bikes came, we stopped doing that. So there is a natural progression of these. I'm not saying that it's good or bad, but we have to be aware of that, and we have to really make sure that we don't lose the capability of memorizing. In fact, I do a lot of memorizing now compared to 10 years ago because I've consciously recognized that real power of understanding comes only by first memorizing, then understanding, right? So, but yeah, you are very, very right. That is the question. That is in my last slide. Actually, I've put that stuff is that you have to do not use AI as a crutch, use as a tool. Stay curious, keep learning. Think critically about AI outputs. Consider the ethical implication. Focus on uniquely human and humane skills. That is really the good lesson. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, I agree. All these points, probably if every Samaritan is a good Samaritan, if everyone is thinking positive and looking at ideal, but in this age and world, even as it is, even without AI, I mean, even without deep fake,
Yes.
with this social media, whether WhatsApp, Facebook, Twitter, these days, we don't even know if the things that are we are seeing are real or fabricated or created just to change people's opinion, be it in politics or be it in the glamour industry, whatever, right?
Yeah.
I think don't you think
No,
that there are going to
but
be a lot of challenges in
but if you
using?
actually think about it, it opens up very openly because 50 years before, glamour industry was capitalized by people in a big way, right? They basically cheated so many people, make them believe that, oh, the actors are good people by heart, and they went into power, right? But so, in other words, glamour industry was able to defeat people's personalities for a long time and gain power. But today, because the deepfaking is possible, people suddenly start so in fact, it's not that people are going to be fooled easily. The real problem is people are not going to trust each other very well because they are going to suspect that any information is suspicious. So it is a big shift, right? But how we face it, how you use it, how you keep still the innocence of your heart, how you keep the kindness of your heart still, how do you do the good things with each other, that is still up to you, right? But you are right, you are very, very right. It gives you a tool, it's give you a sharp knife. Whether you're going to use it to cut vegetables or something specific, or are you going to kill others, is up to us. And this is a very big sharp knife, right? That is the difference. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. Yeah.
No,
Okay.
to add to that, actually, my point is based on my experience, it will help you to speed up the work, but it's not final. You need to validate
Yes.
the solution.
That's for
Sometimes
sure.
I'm in a SAP field, actually, just to give my experience. I've been in 25 years. I worked on different fields of SAP, but today even I use Chat GPT at my work. But again, I don't completely trust that one because I know how to validate. When it's
Yes.
giving an answer,
Yeah.
it's kind of fast for me to do my job. But again, I need to
Yes.
look at that and validate to before giving it to my manager or
Yes.
something.
I
I have to
think
be very
that is the
careful.
golden rule.
This is
The
one thing
golden
I'm.
rule is
Yeah, that's why you need to remember all your formulas still,
yes.
like you
Yeah.
said.
Yes.
Yeah.
The golden rule is do not use the output of AI without
Exactly.
human touch. And not only that, you put the input,
Right.
you get the output, both should be yours. And you
Exactly.
need to take the output and make it
Right.
your own.
Yeah.
And completely sign off saying that this is my song here, even though when I say that people think that, oh, he is using AI to generate a song. No,
Yeah.
it is a
Yeah.
composition entirely by music is mine, the tune is mine, the lyrics are some human being, the image prompting is mine, adjustment is mine. I finally say
You
that
created it.
this is mine.
Yeah.
You are the creator.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I
but
think that human in the loop is
but
very
it
important.
Yeah.
definitely
Yes. Exactly.
increase the productivity for sure. And
100%. Yes.
like I did not imagine I'll use this one. Okay, and that's my personal experience. I don't want to take time. We use the Teams for meetings. I'm a business system analyst. Okay, so I have time. So I got a project in SAP to implement some. There is a middleware that has to be upgraded. Okay, the business analyst I deal with is a UK person, old man, gets frustrated quickly, don't want to repeat many times, and he's very little kind of rigid. Old style is old man, right? I don't understand SAP. I don't understand his business rules, logics, functionality, anything. So I
Right.
first started with recording the meeting. I conduct the meetings. I record. I'll repeat the meeting until I digest what he said, what's going to happen, what's the problem there. Then one day I started, okay, let me write the scribble it, right? It writes into words also what he's speaking. Then I turned on the 60 days trial, the artificial intelligence. So at the end of the meeting, right, it gives me all summary. What was discussed, what he was speaking, what are the next actions, what are to be followed up. Now I read the entire content. Of course, I jot through the eyes. Now again, I go to the meeting quickly. Now I completely understand. When I open the next time meeting, right, I completely know what he's going to speak, what he spoke, what is going to happen, and what it takes to finish the task, what he is not able to do it, and what are the issues he's facing with.
Yes.
So it's unimaginable. Like, I would never take a project like that, which I don't know what he's talking about, what he's doing, but I'm able to deliver that with these tools.
Yeah, this is so powerful. It's going to become extremely powerful.
Yeah, probably it can even write an email next day without saying anything, right? You know what, Raj, I want you to write an email to him asking where his stands are.
Yeah. So basically, even, we will be able to work with people with different languages without talking one word in that language, because the interface is going to take care of everything. It's completely going to revolutionize. As I'm saying, the power and the risk are going to come together. It is up to us to really navigate correctly, just like internet, right? Yeah.
Just like iPhone, for example,
iPhone, yes,
how
exactly.
many devices has been obsolete.
Yes.
So, like
Yes.
what he said in the beginning, it's a debatable, right? He's not taking a stand on one way or the other. So he's
Yes.
not saying that AI is going to kill all of us.
Yeah.
But the point is, this is something we have to live with it. I think the kind of productivity is bring to the table is amazing and outstanding. And I think in the interest of time, there is one comment in the chat I was looking at from Jay. He's asking for, would it be possible to share the chat GPT prompts that you use so it helps him do some practice?
Yeah. So I think, maybe you can, I will connect through the WhatsApp channel, I'll one on.
Yeah, you can share with me. I can post it for the
Share, yeah.
benefit of others. So
Thanks.
I will definitely. Thanks, Jay. Sorry, Rajendra, I try not to cut you off. Do you have any other comments?
Can I share?
Go ahead.
No, I just want to share. Can I share the invitation with somebody else to the next meeting, which is not in the group?
From SRK college or a different college?
He's the son of SRK alumni.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah.
I don't know. That would be acceptable.
I want him to get a good understanding.
Yeah. The future has to do something for SRK. That is important.
What I'm thinking is that I will start on my channel, not this channel. I want to create another channel for instructive. So I will probably, that might be a good thing. That way you don't need to.
I have one. So my question is, what are the future challenges that AI can solve? As of now, we never touched that.
I think that is more speculation. So the idea is that people try all kinds of problems that humans are trying to solve. They give it to the AI, and one by one.
In the next 5, 6 years, 7 years, 8 years, maybe we never expect that kind of solution could have happened.
Yeah, even for example, I'll tell you, people who were working on AI did not expect this much progress in this many areas in the last 3 years, right?
Exactly.
So it's now. The thing is that until now, humans were setting the goals and AI was reaching it. Even today, majority is like that. Even if for future also, it will be there only. But because of the power group, you have the power of the AI, people will start thinking new objectives very quickly. Very, very quickly, they will be.
Yeah, nobody can tell what a tool can make, right?
No. Do you think that this is a lifestyle, right? Just 20 years of some 17 years of education followed by some job and making some money and putting in banks and then retirement. These kind of lifestyle we seen because of that is how it is. How this lifestyle would be changed because of AI? Do you think that we need to do jobs? Why?
Yeah, I think a
Still
lot
we
of
need
things.
to.
No, no, I think that
That's
there are
why.
very good books. There are very good
Yeah,
books
yeah,
that
yeah.
go deep into it. They go into deep into it. There is a book called Coming Wave by Mustafa Sulaiman. There are lots of books on AI. I can share some of that because they talk about these things, and this is a visa. Nobody knows perfectly, but they
Exactly.
know that it is going to change, and it's going to be hugely challenging, right? For example, I'll tell you one small thing, right? the the AI music and AI video has allowed me. I actually, you won't believe, I can create one new song every hour if I want, because if the idea of lyrics comes to my mind, from there to tune it and to get a recording out of it will take just me 1 hour. In 3 hours I can create a video, so I can, in 4 hours I can create one new music
Yeah,
video.
that's what. See,
but
when
but but
everything
but
is.
the point is, no, let me finish. So the
Yeah,
point
sure.
here is, the people who are musicians who have invested their entire life and building studios and recordings and stuff like that, they will be stunned by some such a delivery like that. So the question then becomes, oh, what happens to all the thing that we have done? How to tune the violin, how to put the time, and how to put the, keep it clean. All those things are, without that, the entire song of tune of violin comes so beautifully here. So there is going to be a similar appending in every area of life, in doctors, engineers. But ultimately, the initiating and the ending has to be in the human touch. Only then the meaningfulness will come there, right? So the point here is that we have to shift to that end rather than the how to. We have to be focusing on, are we doing the right thing? How are we adding value? What are we building for others? How are we serving others? What do they really need? These are the important questions. I cannot say that just because I know the 12 tables, just because I know the formula of Fahrenheit Celsius conversion, I am a genius. No, that is nothing, right? The real value is, what are you doing with it, right?
Yeah.
So that is the shift.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry, Godavari, sorry, this is not a debate, so let's not go into the debate mode, okay?
Yeah.
Thank you very, very much for the participation, and it is we can go on forever, right? So we can be not stop. So with the interest of everyone's time, and I really appreciate the taking everyone's time, and thank you, Ravi. And we remember we do have a second session, okay, and possibly even more sessions. As you know, Ravi is a so excited person. He's very passionate, and he's passionate about the technology, the things that he is doing. And we really appreciate you, Ravi, for taking your time, and give him a big claps for
Thank
his.
Thank you.
Ayal, is there any WhatsApp group for this SAANA?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's then another thing. I'm going to do that, okay, with
And
all the
yeah,
participation.
yeah.
So
Please
Yeah.
make sure to list the topics that you would like to see in the next one. If anyone wanted to cover certain things, questions or topics, please feel free to send that also on the
Yeah.
second day.
okay.
Great,
Thank
great
you.
session. Thank you, Ravi,
Thank
and Mr.
Thank you.
Thank you,
All
Ravi
the SAANA
Annaswamy.
team.
Thank you. Thank you.
thank you.
We should thank Ravi Square, Ravi Annaswamy and Ravi.
Ravi, yeah.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Really
For
appreciate
making this
everyone,
happen.
guys.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, guys.